Hey there, and welcome to the final episode of Inside Butler Football for the 2012 season. I'm your host, Bree Seaver. In today's episode, we're going to take a look back at the season and reflect upon some of the highlights of the year. In a second, I'll be joined by Butler Head Football Coach Jeff Voris and a dozen Butler football players in the Champions Room in the press box to see exactly what they thought about this year's season. Stay with us on Inside Butler Football. Welcome you back to Inside Butler Football. Today I'm joined by Head Butler Football Coach Jeff Voris. Coach, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
So before we talk about the season as a whole, what were your thoughts about last week's game against Drake?
Well, definitely didn't end the way we wanted it to. There's, they have played us. You tip your hat to them. They came ready to play, and on all three phases, they really won the game. I thought we had some opportunities where we were in the game midway through the third quarter, and we needed to play here and there, and we just didn't do a good enough job. Units helping units. I mean, we got some turnovers that we didn't capitalize on. We scored and weren't able to then stop them from scoring. So the things that we'd done throughout the season, we weren't able to do Saturday, and a lot of it you tip your hat to them, and you live and learn.
Now, coming into this season, what were your realistic expectations for the team? What did you hope to accomplish?
Well, I mean, we hoped we'd come together as a cohesive unit and practice one day at a time, and work every day to get a little bit better and do all the little things it takes to get ready. I mean, I thought we had some really good young players and some veteran leadership that, if they came together, could be a really good football team, and that's what happened.
Now, as you look back upon the season as a whole, what moment stands out to you in your mind as one that exemplifies the team's true character?
I mean, I think you can go all the way back to week one and many times throughout the season, but you're down at Western Illinois on the road, and you got a bunch of young guys that are playing for the first time and a team trying to find itself, and we get a second half shutout and come back and nearly get all the way back to win that game on the road. With an FCS opponent, I think shows a lot about what we had. Now, we knew we had to keep getting better from that point on, and then each week you get a big win at Dayton at home, and that's always good for us. We had to hang on in the fourth quarter and make some plays, and you go to to Marist and have to do the same thing. I mean, to be able to get one more stop and then run the clock out for 6 minutes, not give them the ball back, is critical. And I think everyone will probably point to homecoming. The comeback at homecoming, or the 95-yard drive at Jacksonville. There are a ton of moments that show the character of this team and how hard they work, and just the mental discipline they had to keep playing for a full 60 minutes.
Now, from an outsider's perspective, it seems as if the defense has definitely improved from last year's season. How does this reflect upon your young team's ability to really step up and take those big roles when they need to?
I mean, defense. A lot of defense is about effort and trust, and just fitting in the right gap and trusting the guy next to you is going to do his job and be in the right place. And then at that point, it's read keys, find ball, and go get ball. And I mean, we had high effort guys. We had guys that build a lot of trust with the guy next to them, and we're just going to do their job. And if this game brought the ball to me, I made plays. And if this game brought the ball away from me, it wasn't about how many tackles I had or how many times I could hurry the quarterback or get a sack. No one was into individual numbers. And when a defense plays the way we play, you got a chance to be really good. And I think that showed. I mean, just the effort and the trust we had in each other.
Now, on the other side of the ball, coming into the season, there was a competition for the quarterback position for the offense. So, the first game against Western Illinois, they seemed to kind of get off to a little bit of a rough start, but they eventually progressed with each coming game, with each next new week. So, from starting at Western Illinois to being named one of the top total offenses in the PFL at the end of the season. Can you talk about the offense's progression?
Well, I think not just the quarterback position had competition across the board. I think early on we were trying to find ourselves and who we were going to be, and had a lot of guys starting for the first time, not just at the quarterback spot. And as the season went on, we just became more of a cohesive unit, and we had a little bit better identity, and just, were we going to throw it or pass it? Could we spread it out? What were we going to do scheme-wise and those type of things? And, I think like any good team, you get better as the year goes on, and we had a lot of guys contribute, which is a key. Matt had a great year, and spread the ball around, and guys were in the right place at the right time, playing hard. So I mean, it was a good year on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. Now, overall, what have you learned from this year's team?
Well, I think it truly, if you do it the Butler way, you can win. If you truly go back and just work on getting better every day, and your focus is team and being a great teammate, and what can I do to play my role and be a little better at my role. If you truly commit to doing those things, you can succeed. I think that's the thing that our guys will take with them, from not just this season moving into next season, but moving forward, and being good employees, and being good husbands and fathers, and things as they move forward.
All right, well, thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Next up, I'll have the opportunity to sit down and talk with some members of the Butler defense. Stay with us after this. Back here on Inside Butler Football, today I'm joined by 6 Butler defensive players who played a crucial role on this year's team. Guys, thanks for all coming in.
Thank you.
So, for all of you, you guys sit here today as a PFL Championship defense. How much does that mean to you, considering all the work that you've put in throughout the entire season?
No, you go ahead, Jordan. It's really it's a great accomplishment for us. To not only be PFL champs, but to be the defense of that PFL championship team was a really good accomplishment. We worked really hard for it. We gelled well as a team, so we were all really happy with the end result.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I came in here, I just missed the 2009 championship team. It was 11-1, and a lot of guys, talked about how great it was to win a championship. And my first 2 years here did not go very well. I had some losing seasons, and to finally have a season where not even winning a championship, but just to have a winning season, it was a lot of fun with the guys. And then obviously, when it came down to it, we clinched a championship. It was a lot of fun, and happy to be a part of it finally.
Absolutely. Now, Kyle, being able to start as a redshirt freshman is certainly an accomplishment. You were able to step up and fill a role that a senior had last year. So going from not really playing a lot last season to starting almost every game this season, can you talk about how you were able to step up and make that transition into a starting role?
It just kind of worked out that way. We had a big recruiting class on the D-line last year, and a lot of guys were seniors. So, it wasn't just myself. There's a couple other guys that hadn't really played before, and we all just felt that we had to put in the work, and we were able to step up and fill their shoes. We had great coaches and a lot of trust in each other. I think that was probably the biggest thing.
Now, Jeremy, you finished the season second in the PFL in sacks and 1 in total tackles for a defensive lineman. So how did your overall performance contribute to the success of the defense?
Well, I knew that, especially coming from defensive tackle last year and switching to a new role of defensive end this year, I knew that I had an opportunity to make a lot of plays. So I knew that hard work was going to have to be put in throughout the whole offseason, throughout the whole summer. I knew that there was going to be opportunities there to make big plays this whole season, and I was fortunate enough to be there for my teammates and and make big plays for our team throughout the entire season. So, that was a big deal for me as well as the team and the defense.
Now, for all of you, what is one of the biggest, most crucial defensive stops that you guys remember that you had this season?
The first thing that comes to mind is probably the Moorhead game, homecoming. It was just a big atmosphere for our team and our school. First night homecoming game. So just really putting on a show for our fans and whatnot. And we needed a defensive stop at the end of the game there to get the offense the ball back so they could go down and make that final drive and score. They'd done a great job all night and a great job all season long. So we knew if we got them the ball that they take care of it for us. So making that stop, giving them the ball back, and then of course the last play of the game when they threw it up and we knocked it down for the clinch there. So that was pretty fun.
Okay. It was exciting.
The thing about that game is it wasn't just one stop; it was the entire fourth quarter. And Moorhead's offense is a really good offense, and they were killing us for the first 3 quarters. And in that fourth quarter, we made a bunch of big stops, especially that last one at the end of the game to give the ball back with, I don't know, a minute left or whatever, so our offense could complete the 22-point comeback.
Yeah, it was a really exciting game to watch. Now, Jordan, you've led the PFL League in tackles for the past 2 seasons in addition to being a team captain. So how much did this season mean to you?
It was huge. Just being a senior and being able to do whatever I can to help the team win. That was my ultimate goal every time I went on the field, just help the team win, do whatever I can. So if I had to make tackles, I like to think I'd make the tackles. If I didn't, to help us win, then whatever. Just to get the W on the board and to go out as a champion as a senior is huge. It's a huge reward for me to come in as a champion and leave as a champion. So.
And as a graduating senior, what advice would you give to underclassmen or incoming recruits to Butler?
Just to stick it out. Your first year here can be tough. I never had the red shirt, thankfully, but it can be a blessing as well. So just if you did get red shirt, even if you play, just stick it out. It's a great institution, great football, great academics. It's just great school in general. So just it can be the best 4 years of your life if you give it a chance.
Absolutely. Now, Thad, you didn't start your career here at Butler. You were transferring from Iowa State, which is definitely a larger football program. So from there to coming to Butler and becoming a key part of a PFL Championship defense, how happy are you with your transfer?
Obviously, I'm really pleased with how it's gone. I transferred here last year from Iowa State, as you said, and I was given a chance by the coaches, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity. To be with these guys here, there's a tradition here, there's a winning tradition, and that's just what I wanted to be a part of. Just a chance to contribute any way I could. That's all we're about here on this defense is everybody doing their part, and to be a part of something like this, it's really special, and that's kind of what I came here for.
Good. Now, for all of you, what was one of the most dynamic offenses that you faced all season, and how did you deal with that? And how did you make adjustments when you're out there?
I think Moorhead State was obviously they're a really good offense, compared to everybody else in our conference. And like these guys mentioned earlier in that game, they put up a lot of yards on us, and we gave up quite a few points. But sometimes that's the name of the game, and that's why it's a team sport. You got to rely on the offense sometimes. So like Jamie said, we came up with some stops, and that was able to get us a win in that game.
And that was the first team all year that had really been testing us both with the pass and with the run. We were having, throughout the first 3 quarters, we were having trouble stopping the run as well as the pass. And that was the first team all year who had really had success with both phases of the game, both passing and running the football. So that's another reason why that was definitely by far the most dynamic offense that we faced all year.
Now, Jamie, you were a defensive starter last season, so what's one of the biggest differences you noticed from last year's defense to this year's?
Yeah, there's a few differences. As far as X's and O's, last spring we changed a lot of our base defense. We changed some reads, some coverages, some little things. Didn't change really who we were or our identity, but tweaked a couple things that I think really helped put us in better positions to make plays. I think our coaching, Coach Cheshire is in his 3rd year as our defensive coordinator, and I think he just gets better every year. And then from a player standpoint, I think we just had a lot more just guys who really wanted to do their role. They didn't necessarily want to be the hero. They just want to make sure they got their job done, so at the end of the day they could look everyone else in the eye and know they did what they were supposed to do. And I think that was a couple of the biggest things.
Yeah, it's team effort. And Bryce, how much do you expect the defense to improve from this season to the next season?
I think we'll improve a lot. We push each other. We got great chemistry on the defensive side of the ball. So during the off season, we push each other in the weight room. We push each other during night runs. So I look forward to that. Going to happen in the off season as well again this year. So we're going to do a great job pushing each other, and by us pushing each other is going to make our defense that much better. And like I said, that chemistry, that's something that you can't teach or you can't coach, and I think our defense has got it. So that'll continue to develop, and as that develops, that'll help our defense even more. So I look for some good improvements in the off season and come back stronger.
All right, well, congrats on a great season, guys. Thanks all for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, after this, I'll have the chance to sit down and talk with a few players from the offensive side of the ball and see what they thought about this season. Stay tuned after this. Back here on Inside Butler Football, today I'm joined by 6 Butler offensive players who played a crucial role in the team's PFL Championship season. Guys, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
So for all of you, you guys sit here today as a PFL Championship offense. How much does that mean to all of you considering the PFL is a competitive conference?
I mean, for me, it's huge because I came in with a championship, and ever since I've been here, we've been talking about getting another one. And then finally, in my senior season, we managed to clinch it. And really, in a season when we were coming into it, nobody really thought we were going to do much. And just to come out, especially in some of those close games that we had, and to come out with PFL Championship was a great way to end my college career.
Now, Trey, you finished the season with over 1,000 rushing yards, and currently you're number 1 in the PFL, and you didn't even play in last week's game. So coming into this season, did you expect to have as much success as you did?
Yeah, going into the season, I was expecting for not only me as an individual to have a great season, but the whole offensive unit to be an explosive unit this year. We all made a commitment this summer to stay on campus and work out with Coach P all summer. So I think that played a big difference in allowing us to be able to go out there and put some points up this year.
Now, Doug, as an offensive lineman, you were a big part of Trey's success on the field. So how proud are you of your performance and your ability to help your teammate out?
I don't really look at it as my single performance. I look at it as like a testament to all the linemen because we work as a unit and we only seek success if everybody's working together, working right.
Absolutely. Now, for all of you, what was one of the toughest defenses that you came across all season?
It was different each week. I mean, we played against a lot of good defenses. Jacksonville, they had a lot of speed. Moorhead State and Drake was really physical with us up front, and it just showed how much we had to adjust during the game and each week preparing for each team to go out there and win.
And what's one of the most memorable plays that you guys made all season that you can think of that really stands out in your mind?
I mean, for me, that last QB sneak against Jacksonville that really sealed the title was one of the greatest ones. That or any one of Trey's long runs, because for that to happen, you have to have all 5 of your offensive linemen up front make their blocks, and then he has to make a play too on the unblocked guy. So that requires a lot of basically everybody do their job to make those plays happen.
Absolutely.
One play that stood out to me was against Moorhead State, first play of the game. Brendan was able to catch a deep ball and end up fumbling on the play, but he was able to stay with it and pick it up and able to run that in for a touchdown too. So that was a big homecoming game. That was something that sparked us to the homecoming win.
Oh yeah, that was exciting to watch. Now, Brendan, you've been a dynamic playmaker in the offense all season. You kind of came into the season as almost like the veteran of all the wide receivers because a lot of them graduated. So how were you able to step up and fill that role?
Well, first off, I had some big shoes to fill with a lot of the guys leaving, and they've been great guys in the program, great mentors and role models to me. So I kind of tried to take a lot of the techniques and things they taught me and kind of mimic those when I was kind of going on to the freshmen and bring that onto them. And but we had a great group of receivers, great group of younger guys, very motivated and dedicated. So it wasn't too much of a challenge taking on that role, and that was very intricate to our season.
Now, Tom, you made a big transition from quarterback to wide receiver, which was quite a drastic change. So, how hard did you have to work in order to find success on the receiving end of the ball?
I definitely had to work really hard at it. We spent all our time this offseason. We were on the field with Matt a lot. I had Brendan here and also Derek O'Connor over here in the summer, and they helped me a lot as for techniques and route running. So a lot of thanks goes to them for helping me along, and just the confidence that all my teammates showed me that I could do it.
Now, for all of you, what's one of the biggest things that you think that the offense can improve upon from this season to next season?
I mean, it's just finishing games. I mean, we're 7-1 this year. A lot of us want to be 8-0, and especially in conference. And so we go out there and try to finish it. And this next year, not only is the title on the line, being in the playoffs is on the line. And I think there's always room for improvement. No team's perfect, no player's perfect. So we always try to improve and work hard in the off season because our off season starts right now, and extend until next season.
Now, Matt, you've had a successful season with throwing the ball. You're currently second in Butler's record book with passing yards with 2,708. So going from last season where you were kind of on the sidelines and now being like a pivotal role and a signal caller for the offense, how much does that mean to you?
I mean, it's a dream come true. I mean, all last year I was waiting to play with these guys because coming in as a transfer, it was a new environment, new setting, new coaches, new players, and the transition was so much easier than I thought, and I give credit to these guys up around me now and also the rest of the team and the coaches. And I mean, this season was special, and I couldn't ask for a better team.
Now, Matt, you were the offensive team captain of this PFL offense. So how proud are you of your team and all the efforts that they put in throughout the whole season?
I mean, I struggle saying I'm proud of them because I feel like that's really in a position for somebody, for like a coach or something. I was right there with them all along. I'm just really happy at the way everybody, they just wanted it so bad, and they showed it through their work ethic all throughout camp and then every week of the season. And it's because of that we had all our success.
And as a graduating senior, what words of advice would you give to underclassmen or incoming Butler recruits?
The biggest thing I would say is just keep working. Remember the work it took to put this season together, and know that you have to put the same work in the coming season to get the same thing done. They won't be the same team next year. And it's not just about losing players or stuff like that. It's just every year when you show up to fall camp, you have to come ready to work.
Absolutely. All right. Well, congrats on a good season, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
After this, we'll take a look at what we can expect in the offseason. Stay with us on Inside Butler Football. Back here on Inside Butler Football. So moving into the offseason now, when does spring football begin, and where's your focus going to be since you're not preparing for games on a weekly basis anymore?
Well, spring ball for us, we usually get started after spring break. Kind of late March has kind of been the time that we get started, at least back on the practice field. Now, the other day we had our final team meeting, and they're into, off-season conditioning and those type of things as we go, just kind of getting their body healed up and rested. And when we get back in January, we'll go, with the off-season conditioning part of the season. But I mean, right now, as far as the coaching staff, I mean, you jump right into recruiting. I mean, really, you've been doing it 12 months a year, but your focus now is really going out and getting that next class. And we're coming up on a contact period when we can be off campus, so the organization of that, and just contacting prospects and just seeing where they're at becomes the focus here in the near future. And then when we get back in the second semester, it's more into player and skill development moving forward.
So that's the goal of your entire coaching staff, is really to just strengthen your team for the next season? No
question. I mean, not only by bringing a new class in, but by developing the guys we have now, and the real key element in that is Jim Peel, our strength coach, does an absolutely outstanding job with these guys. And for the next semester, he's going to be the guy spending the most time with them, really. They'll be in the weight room 4 days a week and have some conditioning sessions that are geared towards, sports-specific development. And, that's going to be the key for us, is the guys coming back or need to work to be a little bit better, and the staff needs to bring in another class to replace, if you can use that word, replace the seniors.
Now, they just finished the season last weekend, so right now are they on a little bit of a break? Or are they already doing some lifting?
Yeah, no, it's more of an active rest type period. Just the wear and tear the body takes over 3 months of playing football. They need some time just to get away and have some rest.
Now, what is your main goal for your team in the off season?
I think the number one thing is to compete in the classroom and be active and involved in the community, and then work every day at work towards winning. What can I do to be a little bit better today? And there's a lot of things that go into it. It's am I going to get up and eat breakfast? Am I going to go and what kind of effort am I going to give in the weight room today? Is it going to be game-like, or am I going to just try to get by? All the little things. The difference between winning and losing in this league and in college football in general is so slight. You don't know where that breaking point is, that tipping point is. So all the little things you do, make the difference. And you know, you got to be able to be willing to do them consistently throughout the year.
Right. Well, thanks, Coach, for joining us this season on the show. We appreciate your time.
No, it's been great. Appreciate your time.
All right. Well, that will do it for the 2012 season of Inside Butler Football. Thanks for watching.